Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV. And hello to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the Mallorca Connection. And we are going to be talking about something that is relevant to so many across the world. It's how to bounce back and reclaim your life after divorce. And joining me, of course, is my co-host and our special guest today. Let me introduce our co-host. His name is Mr. Roland FRIEDL, and he is just about to hit the road. I'm really excited to find out about his upcoming major transformation. He's a big part of our platform here at USA Global TV. Not only is he a co-host, but he's one of our expert presenters on Talking Heads, and he's an elevated listener. He's also on the Talking Heads panel, and he is going to be pioneering our new show that's all about men, for men, and by men. So let's welcome him to the program, Mr. Roland FRIEDL. Hello.
Hello, Dr. JACALYN. Thank you so much for this amazing introduction. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Roland. I'm just so thrilled that we met. We were speaking with our guests backstage about how that was, and it was actually here on the platform on another show, Life's Amazing Journey with John Christian. And it just goes to show you, you never know where one opportunity, one introduction, one meeting is going to take us.
Absolutely. You know, when you're an open-minded person, when you're a positive person, when you love to communicate with people, and when you're an honest person, you meet the right person on the right place, and then they introduce you to the next one and the next one, and then you broaden up your network, you broaden up your friends, and that's what I really love. Sharing and caring. It's all about sharing and caring.
It sure is. And I love that too. And I love the fact that you lead with your heart. I'm going to spotlight you. And for people who are joining us for the first time, I would love if you would share about your work, what's important to you, and why we have these boxing gloves behind us.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone who is out there. Yeah, I'm Roland. As you can hear from my accent, I'm not I'm a native speaker in English. I'm born and raised in Austria, a small little country in the middle of Europe, beautiful but cold. That's why I'm always moving. Right now, I'm joining from the beautiful island of Mallorca in Spain, and I dedicated my life since more than 3 decades to support, in the beginning, to support organizations and their leaders. It was all about, performance, profit, market shares, increasing all this stuff. But after a few sessions, I found out maybe these leaders need more. Maybe they need more a purposeful, happy life, because they're successful in business, but when they come home, they really have a burnout almost. They're really exhausted. They don't have time or find time to be really present with their beloved ones when they come home in the evenings or weekends. Most of them are addicted to any compensation, any drug compensation, like any addiction, like taking drugs or drinking too much alcohol or eating too much or whatever it is. So I love to support these leaders, men and women both, to have more purpose in their life, so get more energized, not only giving energy to their job, what they love to do, but also getting energy from their job and coming home to beloved ones and be really energized and happy and purposeful and can enjoy the time that is left with their beloved one. Then I dedicate my life. Since many, many years, I do this internationally together with my team in many languages. And yeah, that's the main business I'm doing since many, many years. And besides that, I found I have a platform. It's called Wireless Life Rocks. This is for people who actually mid-40s or maybe my age, mid-50, and they started thinking about myself. Was this all in my life? Maybe I want to change something. Maybe I leave corporate world, found my own business, or maybe I want to work remotely, maybe from the terrace from my garden, or maybe I move to an island or to a lake or to a mountain. Just living a wireless life meaning working where and living wherever you want. And my slogan always is, the world is my office, the world is my home. That's my life. I do this for many years. So I talk from my own practice and experience on that. And the third thing is, I dedicated my stuff also to a men's group. It's called Sparing for Men, where we meet online. We have a US group, we have a European group, where we meet online in a, I would say, the sacred, safe, heartful, peaceful place where we share our man being, how we feel as a man in our roles, our anxieties, our thoughts, our emotions, whatever it is, because I think this is very important in our time. Yeah, that's me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Roland. And I know a couple of people have asked me if we're going to be changing the name of the show since you're going to be leaving the island. But no, that's our connection, Mallorca. So I think we'll be leaving it the same.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I remember when you came to me and said, okay, what topic you want to discuss in your shows? And I said, I'm so proud, to be honest, because I read a lot, I study a lot, I learn a lot. I love to connect with people, to learn from other cultures when I travel, stuff like that. So I have so many different interests, and over the years I get so many expertise in many stuff. So I said, okay, let's do it in Mallorca connection, because I'm based in Mallorca, and it's a good place here anyway. And to answer your question about the boxing gloves in the back, it's. Well, I'm not a rough person, not a brutal person. I have a military background, and what I have learned, it's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener under war. That's what I learned. Be prepared. But the boxing gloves in the back are here because my company, where we coach leaders and train companies and organizations, help them developing their stuff and so on. We call it Spartans, from sparring. Sparring, like preparing for a box fight. That's what the boxing gloves are. We really challenge our clients to become a better version of themselves, and that's why the boxing gloves are there.
Thanks for sharing that. So I know I took boxing up. It's such a good way, a good outlet to get rid of stress and increase your strength and your footwork. I was really poor in the footwork part of it, but it was really a challenge for me. So, Roland, we have a great guest today with a topic that is so important to discuss. I'm divorced, and I know it was many years ago, and I went through a lot of just emotions and feeling like I didn't fit in and feeling bad because I broke up the couple, the foursome, all the groups, that you get together with, and everyone's like, oh, now we can't all do things together. There's a lot of things to go through aside from just physically leaving someplace or letting go of some things. So I'm looking forward to finding out how we can bounce back and reclaim our lives. So would you please introduce our guest today?
Absolutely, thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy that she's joining us today. I met Irina, I guess, almost 2 years ago, 2020. I remember I was joining an online training from the US, training from Europe, and with this pandemic, everything was virtual, was online, remotely, and we met there. And I found it very interesting what she's doing, what she's dedicated to. And I didn't know that there are coaches that are specialists on this topic. And I said, it's very interesting because everybody knows, I'm divorced too since many years. Divorce rate is, separated rates are going up. And many people are really struggling because some people can really get hit. It's a surprise to be left by their partner. Some people are absolutely not prepared. Some people really, they fall in a hole, caught in a trap. So I think it's very important to get tips from her. And I'm very happy to bring Irina on the stage.
Hi, welcome, Irina. Nice to see you.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Hi, Irina. Good to have you here.
It's so nice to have you here. And as I was mentioning in the introduction, divorce, well, it used to be something that was not common, or people didn't speak about it, or you were shamed about it. It's much more prolific than ever. And we need people like you to help us reclaim our lives. So can you share with us, how did you get started in this, and what was the catalyst to have you throw yourself fully into being the founder and CEO of Reclaim Your Life?
Sure, yes. Of course, it's a personal story, personal path that I went through. I became a single parent of a newborn and a 5-year-old. And I was living in that depressed state of mind, just going through days, fulfilling my obligations, not feeling present. And one day on a train to work, as I was running, I was dropping one kid off at one place and another in the nursery. And I missed my train by a minute, and I started sobbing and crying and asking myself, is this what life is all about? Did we just come here to suffer? Did we come here to be depressed and be broken? Yes, on the outside, as you mentioned, back then it's not so uncommon, and now we see it more and more. But I thought everybody has their own problem. Why would they care about mine? And so I would go through a day just fulfilling my obligations and not being present. And on that train ride to work, I realized that I can no longer continue living in that broken state. And at the time, I wasn't divorced yet. It was in the middle. But I realized that my kids needed more energy, and what kind of person I felt like they were getting the leftovers, and the best part of me went to work while they would get the leftovers, that fragile leftovers that in the end. And I realized at the time that I needed to take care of myself. There is nobody coming, because I was waiting for somebody to come rescue me, to take me out of my misery, but nobody was coming. And so I decided to embark on a personal development journey. And through my journey, I discovered many great things about myself, because also what happened during the relationship, I managed to lose my identity. So I had that identity crisis. Who am I? And that's the question I was asking, because before I was someone else's mom, I was someone else's wife, but who am I now? And so this is how reclaiming, kind of breaking pieces of myself and putting myself back together. And I'm going to share more about, how I got to where I am today. But what culminated, what led me to help women reclaim their life after divorce, when I was in Phoenix, Arizona in September of 2019, there was a YouTuber on stage from Canada, Evan Carmichael, who said there is not enough belief in this world today, and you should help somebody who is a step behind you. And this is when I decided to help those women, help basically myself, my 5-year version, who I was 5 years prior coming to the summit. This is the person who I wanted to help. I wanted to shine the light in the end of the tunnel. I wanted them to realize that life is not over. Life can be great, because after a rain comes a rainbow.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. I love and appreciate what you just shared. And also how many of us have been waiting for someone to come and save us. I went through that too. I was like, is the knight coming or the prince coming on the horse? No, you must have gotten lost. But really, in the end, there's no one that comes for us. We just have to show up for ourselves. And many times that means reaching out to someone like you or someone like Roland. You both are kind of doing similar things, but for men and for women separately. So it's really interesting.
Absolutely. And I think it's as a man. By the way, here in Europe, I guess the chance is very high that a man will come on a horse, because gasoline prices here are on an all-time high. So maybe they come on a horse or on a car. Little princes and queens out there, chances are increasing. Okay.
We've got to start a comedy show with you, Roland.
No, but the point is, I guess it's all about self-responsibility, taking self-responsibility. I mean, it speaks so easy, but I know when I remember when I was divorced, I mean, it was my decision to step out, but I felt in a hole too. And as you said, Irina, before, then you identify yourself, okay, who I am now. I absolutely could relate also as a man to this, because I was somebody's husband, I was somebody's dad. Mostly as a man, you have the other way around, that you don't see your kids that much, because mostly kids stay with mom most of the time. So it's also for men difficult, but for sure, I guess for women it's harder, especially economically, from income side, I guess.
Yeah. Yes.
And I was mentioning in the beginning that in my situation, I don't have any children, but I was still part of a group of people, and we did things together. And then they were all mad at me because I left, and I broke up the relationship between everyone. No one really seemed to care how I was feeling. So, Irina, can you share with us, what are some of the pain points that your clients will have that they share with you that you help them work on?
Oftentimes it's a lack of clarity, not knowing what next step to take. and victim mindset. Because I work with women who went through a toxic divorce. So for somebody who is like, yay, I'm finally out, you're good. It's for those that dedicated their life to their family, who thought this is it, and then they found out something else in the process. And you get this mindset shift. You're like, what's wrong with me? Am I not good enough? Am I not pretty enough? Am I not like a good housewife? Of things like that you start penalizing yourself and treating it this as a punishment, as opposed to looking at it the other way and becoming an observer of a situation and learning from this experience and taking a lesson and moving forward. So I work on mindset shifts, realizing that life is happening for you. Sometimes a good thing may be broken for something great to come out. And when we are in a relationship, when we are in the depths of it, or when we are immediately after divorce, we don't see it. We find ourselves lost. We find ourselves basically being obsessed in the past, because we start thinking, oh, I should have said that, or I should have felt that. Meanwhile, realizing we cannot go back in the past unless we have a time machine. But we can definitely change our future by being present in the now, because our past doesn't need to define our life. Every single day we have an opportunity to wake up and create our day. Whether we want to be miserable, sad, upset, it takes the same amount of energy for any one of those feelings. And so what I do is I work on mindset to help women realize what's possible for them. And I have my own framework. I call it Happiness Method, Happiness Academy, where I combine physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual states of being, because we are wholesome beings and we have all those different aspects of ourselves, and bringing that all together, improving all of those areas one at a time. And then in the end, that you become happy in the end, because that's what I wanted after my divorce, is to find how I can be happy again, happy being me, not necessarily jumping immediately into another relationship, but first realizing who am I, spending time with myself, and how not before it wasn't so prominent, but now everybody's talking about self-love, self-compassion, and self-appreciation. So spending time with yourself and finding out who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what is it that makes you who you are completely. Because any person that comes into your life, your partner, anybody else, they can like a cherry on top. You should be happy by yourself first before you can enter into a relationship and make somebody else's job to make you happy. Because it's like assigning not blame, but assigning somebody else, like giving them the job of making you happy. Nobody can ever do that. We have to make ourselves happy first, and then let other people know what it is that makes us happy.
I guess this is something very important that you mentioned, and also for men, but also for women, also for men. That and I learned this lessons many years ago, and it was a tough process. Really to learn to be happy with yourself and not feel lonely. Yeah, to really spend your time with yourself and facing your fears and facing your I want to say you're doing your shadow work and stuff like that. And then when you're ready more or less, then you can start with the next relationship and not jump from one relationship to the next one, because you're always taking yourself in the relationship. I have a question to you, Irina, but I'm really interested. From your experience, your coaching clients, these women are coming to you. Is there a difference between those who married in very young years, early years, or marrying later? Is there any difference?
Not necessarily. I think it's the duration, how much people stay together. That's what makes the difference.
Okay.
And having boundaries in place, having open sources of communication. Because two different people come together, and maybe they share similar values, but through process of living together, and if the person was quiet, one of the person, and they didn't speak up on what it is they like, what do they dislike, that, and what happens often is when we let go, when we don't want to quarrel, when we don't want to raise any issue, we lose our identity, because we let things go, we let things slide, and we don't speak up. And in the same, we lose our identity, and we're also training a partner how to behave with us, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And so it's the duration, I would say, not how young somebody is or old, but how long they've been together and whether or not they had boundaries in place.
Okay.
Thank you. One thing that female friends have shared with me, people who are divorced over the years, is if they weren't handling the money, if they weren't involved in the financial aspect of it, and now at whatever age, they have to figure out how to live on their own, how to budget, how to manage the money, so do you have clients who come to you with that as an issue? And if so, how do you address it with them?
I do not do any financial management, but I do have connections, networks, where I can help direct them into those places where they do help with financial, because you are so right. When somebody else is handling it for you, you become unprepared, and suddenly not only your emotions fall apart, but now you also have to be in charge of your financial situation and being able to budget. I can provide general guidelines, but I'm not an expert in that area.
But at least they know that you have the connections and you have the network that you can connect them, and they can get an education so that they don't have to live with that fear.
Yes. And now I recently found out there is a certified divorce professional. There is a title like that. You go to school to become certified divorce professional.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
I'm not certified in that, but
is that on your agenda to get certified? No. Well, that just goes to show you there's obviously a need for it.
Yes. Because oftentimes what happens, divorce is a money industry. Lawyers are out there to get as much money out of possible. They don't really care about the client's benefit. They just care about their pocket. And the more two people fight with each other, the longer divorce lasts, and nobody wins in the end.
True. Very true.
Just a lawyer's company, rule spinning.
Yes.
I want to go back to that moment that you shared. I want to thank you for sharing that, by the way, the moment when you missed the stop and you just started crying, and is this all there is? And I know that could have gone any number of ways. You could have just withdrawn and said, I'll just keep doing this, the drudgery of all of it. But you decided to break free and reclaim your life, which I think is just so amazing and beautiful. And we know right now, whether it's divorce or anything else, there are people all over the world who have to start over again, reclaiming their lives. And so I'm imagining that a lot of the qualities and characteristics, whether you're getting divorced or you've lost your home, or whatever it might be, they're similar. So when we talk about self-love and showing up for yourself and really becoming your best friend and getting to know yourself, what are some other things that you can share with our audience, people right now thinking, that's actually me? What's the first thing I can do to move forward out of this existence that I'm in?
I think there are many pieces in the equation, and I build them little by little. I think wherever we are, we can always be grateful. So it's installing habits in your life that make you feel alive, that make you feel happy. I am a great believer of morning routine, and that's how I love to start my day, to watch the sunrise, to watch the sky, how the sun is rising up. And when you are there, you're seeing the day being born, you feel like you didn't miss anything. So it's installing those habits into your day-to-day living, things that make you happy. And those things are so micro, they're so little that you wouldn't think of them in a grand scheme of things, but those little things make up the life worth living. So practices like gratitude, radical forgiveness, especially for those who feel that life is treating them badly. Always forgive yourself for who you are for who your partner was, the situation that you were in, before stepping forward. Because when we forgive somebody, it's not letting them off the hook, it's actually letting ourselves to move freely into the present, into the and then future. It's savoring the present moment. How many times did you pause maybe and look at the sky, or saw a smile on your child's face, or did something amazing throughout your day? Because those tiny moments allow us to be present. Then meditation. And I know some people maybe don't like meditation so much, but it's starting small, because our life is so fast paced, and oftentimes we need to slow down. We need to be present. And meditation allows us to do that. It's like a shower for your mind. Like you take a shower to feel clean, or if you take a shower for your mind to feel nice, clear head. And then another important thing is doing 10 minutes of joy every day. What is it? Something that makes you feel alive, something that makes you feel happy for yourself. You're not doing it for anybody else. Having that practice every single day. So it's incorporating those components, also exercise, moving, eating right. In my methodology, my happiness methodology, in the physical component, it's morning routine, it's exercise and nutrition, because our bodies were designed to move. And in pandemic, I think a lot of us been sitting down a lot, and we need to move because movement is life. So introducing different habits that sustain you, habits that make you feel alive. Those are my recommendations to people who are in that situation right now.
I think that's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. Right before the show, I actually was exercising on this thing called a gazelle. And long story short, I was in the garage, and the garage door was half up because I don't want everybody looking at me. And a giant snake came into the driveway. I mean, to me, it was giant. It was 2.5 feet long, black, and it had his head looking around. And I screamed. And then it went the other way. And then it came back again. And then it finally went away. But my point is, I was really scared. But as I got off of the gazelle and I started thinking about it, I thought, wow, there are so many creatures in this world that I don't even know anything about, really. And they all have a right to be here. But what a beautiful world it is when you get to see something you haven't seen before. Now, I wanted to stay where it was, of course. But there's always little things that we can be grateful for each and every day.
Yes. Yeah. And it's oftentimes when you lose something that you start appreciating.
Absolutely, yeah. What I also really like, Irina, is what you mentioned, having a morning routine, because I think it's also helped me when I have my dark moments, is when I have a morning routine, I know exactly, okay, I stand up because I do this, I have a structure. And what you said before, when JACALYN asked you what is so important, you said clarity. And this morning routine gives you clarity. What is my next step? Okay, well, I'll do this. Otherwise, you're staying in bed and just feeling like a victim and crying and claiming. But you have clarity. Okay, I do this, whatever it is. I go for a shower. I drink my green tea or my coffee, or I do my meditation or do my dog walk, or whatever it is. I think it's very, very helpful to have this morning routine. And I also love what you said, being grateful. Me as a man, it helped me too. Just sitting every day in the evening down and just writing in a little diary as a man too, what made me happy today? What made me smile? What I'm grateful just today. And as you said, it's such small things. And what I learned from your saying is, like, it is, at the end, it's all about work. It's about working ourselves and becoming a better version. And I guess it's just a decision we have to make. Do we want to change or not? It's just about, it's not a rocket science, but on the other hand, it's not an easy process. But I guess it's all about making a clear decision. As, okay, I want to step out. But what tip can you give to a woman who's stuck? I mean, when you are ready to go and to call you and ask for help, I guess that's the first important step. But what are for people who really get stuck? How can they get out of this? Really stuck? Because sometimes you're so stuck that you don't listen to somebody else, and you feel so lonely. You're the poorest person in the world, if you speak, and you don't see that there's help, or that you don't see the opportunities. When you're stuck, what can these women do?
Yes, find a support group so you don't feel alone. that you find others are like you. And there are so many right now, free groups, meetups available, and you don't have to feel alone. There are others. In fact, I met there is a movement or a company called Divorced Over 40, and they created different groups across the globe. And all it is about to foster friendships, because as you mentioned, JACALYN, after you divorce, your friends suddenly you need to find new friends, because you were a couple and now you kind of on your own. So what they do is they foster friendships, to form friendships with people, so you don't feel alone. You do some activity. How I discovered for myself, I started pursuing my hobbies. One of the greatest thing I did was learning how to sing and getting a voice coach, and started painting and dancing tango. And through pursuing those hobbies, I was able to form circle of acquaintances and friends. So I didn't feel alone anymore. No, they weren't divorced, but they were doing something that I was interested in. We had the same shared interest in the hobby that we were doing. So I didn't feel so alone. And I was able to look at different facets of myself in rediscovering those additional things.
That's terrific. We actually interviewed someone who founded a group called Divorced Over 40, and they have place. I don't know if it's the same guy or not. I can't think of his name, but yes. So to your point, that's it. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to be in silence. A follow-up question I have is it okay to spend a certain amount of time crying, maybe punching a pillow or getting some of those emotions out? What are your thoughts on that?
Definitely. Oftentimes we drown our sorrows in wine, but that's a solution. It only lasts you for this evening. In the morning you wake up, you're going to be same where you started. So definitely crying, getting your emotions out of you is very important. Whether you punch a pillow or maybe you write yourself a letter, you write how you feel, but getting it out of you, because what happens, the longer you hold on to those emotions, in the long term, they can develop a disease. Disease is when your body is not at ease, and we don't want to do that. We need to release our emotions in whichever way possible. Screaming, crying, laughing, whatever works. But yeah, get it out of your system.
Brilliant. Thank you. And I have a question for the two of you. I've had some friends who they were left. Their husband left them, and they were so angry for a number of reasons, but they never got to share their piece. They never got to give feedback to the other party, because the other party's like, hey, I'm out. I met someone, or I'm going. And they felt like they'd never have an opportunity to let the other person know how they were feeling. How does someone deal with this? Because there are times when no, you won't have the opportunity. That person moved on. They're not taking your calls. You got to go through an attorney. Anybody want to jump in on that?
I would say write a letter or share your story on the podcast. I'm a podcast host for single parent success stories, and I interview single parents to share struggles, things they overcome, to help inspire present single parents who are on that journey. So
there it is. And they don't have to use their last name, right? They could just use first name.
It could be anonymous if you.
Yeah. Roland, anything you want to add to that?
Well, I think I always say, at the end it's all good, and when it's not good, it's not the end. But I think when you separate, both sides always should have the chance to communicate at least. I had to separate. I was married 2 times, and when I think back, well, actually, with my first wife, there's a bad relationship still, but with my second wife is a very good one. And the point is, it's about even when you really have in the grief, when you're aggressive, when you're angry, when you have emotions. I would say, just think back. We had good times together. We had good moments. Otherwise, we wouldn't be together. So I try to remember the good times and yeah. Find a way to communicate. Maybe not on the first day, because you have to get rid of the grief, the emotions. It's like when you lose somebody, or somebody's dying. And the partnership is the same when somebody's going away. It's like somebody's dying. Take your time, but then find a way to communicate. And as Irina said, if it's not possible, write a letter, but try to communicate and don't stuck, because I personally believe that the time I spent with my partners that was together, even it was not at the end of we break, but they had good moments. Hopefully I learned a lot. Hopefully my two wives learned something from me. It's a process, it's a process on our journey. And sometimes, sometimes like friendships or like a trip, you go somewhere and then you come to it, you come wherever you end up, and then you split. Why not? It's not a tragedy, I think it's not a tragedy, but but at the end it's all about staying as a human being and communicate if possible, and if not, just write a letter, but do it. Don't take it. I guess it's so important to get your emotions out. As you said, Irina, otherwise you get sick.
And I think also it's a matter of where you put your energy, where you put your efforts. There is a movie that was really popular, He's Just Not That Into You, something like that. And it's so obvious when you watch the movie that the guy's not into the girl, and yet she keeps coming up and showing up. And I have to say, I've been that person many times in my life too. But you have to decide, are you going to put your energy chasing into something that obviously is over and that person isn't into you anymore for whatever reason? And once they've made it clear, what are you going to do with that energy? Are you going to go after this person? This is a closed door. Sometimes we think, oh, I can jar it open just a little, but why would you want to be with that person anyway if they're not into you? So I think it's important to put the energy into yourself and doing the work and working with someone like you and focusing on, how can I be the best version of me today, regardless of what that person thinks? Because we had good times, but those times are now over officially. And it's time to open a new door and have good times with ourselves and with others.
Yeah, totally.
I have a question, Irina, because I don't know in the US, but here in Europe, we always say women are much more prepared, or they already are more sensitive when a relationship is coming to an end. Men, we have emotions, but we have less words for emotion. We are less outgoing on emotions. We are less sensitive. And we said, there's a saying, how is your relationship? Two friends meet and say, how's the relationship? Oh, she's still living with me. So she's still there. Yeah. But so men's in my friendship, in my environment, when people get separate, couple get separated, the men are always so totally surprised that what the fuck is going on? I thought everything is fine. And because I'm working, I bring the money home. I'm here on the weekend. We do some vacation. Sometimes I bring flowers. Everything is okay. but the woman is unhappy, and men doesn't realize it. But what is your experience? Are women really, I wouldn't say clever, but more sensitive, and they know it earlier than a man when a relationship is broken?
I think women are more in tune. And it depends also. I think it goes in both sexes. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, but it matters how much you were in the relationship. I know in the beginning it's all nice and butterflies are flying and it's all unicorns and rainbows because you're just meeting somebody. But then as the relationship progresses, and if two people are not growing together in the same direction, if their interests are falling apart or going sideways, then you would notice something. And I guess to your point, if women were more, I guess they're more in tune. And I don't know where I seen it, but there was a study done, how a man thinks and how a woman thinks. And man has like boxes, compartments for everything. So there is like a relationship box, and then there is a work box and the friends box. And women are constantly all over the place. Oh, I have to do the cooking and grab the kids and then spend time with the husband. And you have, so it's always, how you call it, women's brain is always on, and it's wiring in different directions. Yeah. So maybe that kind of, you could see some pattern here, and you can make an analysis what happened, and then derive at the conclusion. And so you would get to that conclusion as a woman maybe sooner than the man, because women connect the dots from different areas of your life.
Exactly. And to both of your points, I think if you're paying attention, there are signs that it's not working, but that doesn't mean we want to accept them. because if we accept them, that might mean we have to make a decision and actually do something, right? And so many times it's kind of like, well, I mean, people have said this to me. They're unhappy in their marriage and they want to get divorced. Well, Christmas is coming. This isn't a good time. Well, Valentine's Day. Well, the kids are and then it just goes on and on and on and on. So I think it's a matter of, regardless of what sex you are, just evaluating how happy are you. And instead of coming from a position of fear and the devil I know is better than the one I don't, it's about finding joy and happiness. And this is it. This is the life we get. I know a lot of people believe we come back in other lives. Maybe we do. I have no idea. But if you want to be happy in this life, you've got to open your eyes and smell the coffee, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, we were already at the end of our show. It just flew by. It's amazing. I can't believe it. But thank you so much. You've been a fabulous guest. I'm going to spotlight you. And if you could share with our audience, maybe just to summarize for the people out there they're like, yes, I want to reclaim my life. I'm so close to doing something. And then the show's over and they go, I guess not. If you could just summarize, just to give another piece of encouragement and inspiration. And then also, what's the best way for people to reach out to you, and who would you like to contact you?
Sure. So my message is, in reclaiming your life, is first accepting that the situation you are in right now is no longer working. And now the choice is in your hands. What do you want to do about it? Because when situation comes your way, you have the decision to make. Do you want to change something about it, or do you want to complain about it and still be in it? So first accept that it's not working, and then make a decision that you want to change, and then reach out to me. What are some of the things you can do is practicing, again, gratitude, meditation, 10 minutes of joy. Do that for yourself. I think that's very simple because it's something you love doing. And the best way to contact me is my email, irina@irinashehovsov.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Instagram is re.claim your life. I have a YouTube channel called Happiness Academy, where I give tips to help reclaim your life, recover from a breakup, and move forward. There is also a podcast, Single Parent Success Stories, available on all platforms where you like to listen your podcast to. Thank you so much for having me.
Your Instagram is reclaim.yourlife?
No, it's re.claimyourlife.
Okay. Sorry, I'm typing it up. All right, perfect. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. It was a pleasure having you, and we'd love to have you come back and be on this show or any of our other shows, because I know there's a lot more that you can share with our audience.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much, Irina. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love that show, the messaging. It's so important for anyone and everyone who is in a situation, whether you're going through a divorce or you're in a relationship that doesn't work. You could be in a career that's stagnant or in a job that you don't like. It's learning to find joy. I love that. 10 minutes of joy each day, and be thankful and grateful for little things, and looking at your life with your eyes wide open. And is this really how you want to live it?
Absolutely, because there's always a chance that we lose something, a partner, a job, an opportunity, a friend, whatever it is. But life is going on. There's a life after divorce. There's a life after losing a job. And I guess that's the positive message, staying positive and being grateful. Being grateful that still alive, hopefully still healthy, I guess is the most important thing. And then fix the other stuff. You know, as we had a discussion, I guess, a few weeks ago about the happiness circle, you know, take care about the glass balls that they don't fall down, and keep going. And it's not easy, but it's not a rocket science. It's all about taking self-responsibility. And I guess we really have to support women to get out of this treadmill and become happy. And I guess we men can also learn a lot of that. Absolutely. Have more respect about what women are doing, especially single parent women, what they're doing and raising kids and being multitasking and making a living. We have absolutely deeply respect this as a society too. because there's so many single women out there.
Thank you for that. And Roland, you're just about to start on your Talking Heads show, and I'd love if you would share with our audience, what are you presenting and why should people watch?
The Talking Head tonight? Yes, sure. Actually, it's the last episode of the first module. Is all about leading effective teams. And in the last model today, the last episode today, I will talk about giving a proper feedback. Because really, every team member in your company deserves a proper feedback. They want to know exactly how good is their contribution to the total team effort, their contribution to the team performance. And that's what we're talking about, how to do this properly. So everyone is happy, you as a leader, and also your team is motivated.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And we wish you all the best as you get out in that RV and start traveling the world. I was thinking about you today. I thought how exciting that is. Go wherever you want without limitation. And I'm just so happy that you're doing this and that you're going to be broadcasting as you're doing your travels.
Yes, absolutely. I'm absolutely very excited about this. So next Monday, the journey starts. And by the way, as I said before, I was thinking about changing to a horse-driven because gasoline prices are going so up, and my RV is huge, and it takes a lot.
What are the gas prices there, Roland?
It's €2 the liter. It's nothing. It's very expensive. I guess so. The gallon is, I guess, 3.5 liters, about €7 and $8.
Yeah, that's expensive. Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No, I love it. I love traveling. I love to connect with new people, and I'm very happy about the technology that we have, so we can broadcast from wherever we are, work from wherever we are, and you can follow us from wherever you are.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to spotlight you, and if you could just share with our audience how they can connect with you for people who are listening on the radio and cannot read the banner.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Yeah, the easiest way is go to my main website. Is my name, rolandfriedl.com. I will spell it for you. It's ROLANDFRIEDL.com. This is my main website about myself. And then you can follow the path if you're running an organization and you want to support your teams, your organization performance. Then you will link to my professional website for companies and organizations. If you're interested in a wireless life, like myself, maybe not on the road, but maybe on a nice lake or on a beach or on a mountain, whatever it is, then you will link to the Wireless Life Rocks website. And when you're a man or even a woman and you want to become have a better man as a partner, then you will be linked to our Sparring for Men. So it's all on the website, rolandfriedl.com. Whenever you want to contact me, I'm happy to get to know you. I want to happy to hear your story. And yeah, let's connect. Thank you.
Thank you, Roland. I'll let you go get ready for Talking Heads, and I'll see you in the other studio shortly.
See you. Thank you. Bye. See you later.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Whether you're watching on the live or the replay, we do stream to 16 different platforms, and that is just a true blessing. So wherever you're watching us, do stay there for the Talking Head Show. We'll be back shortly. I do have one announcement. We have 25 live broadcasts this week, which is incredible. We're up about 4. We've got some new shows coming. If you would like to be considered to have your own show on USA Global TV, please do reach out to me. You can reach out to me a number of ways. I will post them, but through my website, my email address, and I'll put them in the comments. Also, I want to announce that we have our reunion show coming up. The reunion show is May the 1st, and you're probably wondering, what's a reunion show? The reunion show is not an interview. It's 6 hours of live streaming. It'll be myself and Al Cini, who will be co-hosting with me. And each hour we'll have 4 people, whether you've been on our platform before or not, it doesn't matter. This is your opportunity to promote your book, your film, your event, your business, your product, your service, whatever it is. Of course, 15 minutes is an opportunity to present in front of a new audience, and we'd love for you to join us for that. Space is limited. Obviously, we can only have 24 people. We've got a number of people booked. I will put up the the Eventbrite, which is the power of listening. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Here it is. It's for the reunion show, Promote Your Business. I'll put this in the comments if you'd like to join us, and we'd love to have you with us for that. Okay, I am going to go ahead and head over to the other studio and join Roland for Talking Heads. You stay where you are, and we'll be back very shortly. Thank you again for being here. We really appreciate it. We wish you a beautiful day. We're going to end with a couple of clips, and then we'll be back. Bye.
By your love, what you giving me is just not enough. I need a love to take me higher and higher and higher. Every step I take, I feel more awake. Getting closer now, I feel so alive. Stopping me, this is how I live. Ever closer now. Just follow love. Love will take you there. Just follow love. Follow me. Just follow love. Love will take you there. Just follow love. Follow me. Follow love. Just call my name. If you ever feel down or feel afraid, 'cause nothing is stronger than men who stand as one for a long time.
All the things that pass, million times the troubles seem to be
Easy and days felt so bright with you.
I remember you always been my family member.
That's the time when we need to stand together. I made this song for you. Hope it reaches and puts a little bit
Smile on you
and fills your mind with hope, because you're not alone. We're together in this love. We stand forever.
Peace is what we need. Everyone knows the truth, no matter which side you pick. You might realize
You're not alone. We're together.